You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Hello and welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. I'm your host, John Townley, and today I'm joined by Ashley Priest for a mini Leeds United versus Aston Villa match preview. How are we, Ash?
I'm all right, mate. I prefer you hosting anyway. Dan's on his holidays, isn't he? So Dan's skiving. But yeah, me and you, John, we're going to double up on Sunday as well. Both going Ellen Road as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Have some company on the road with yourself. And yeah, just back from Bodyball, mate. So yeah, raining cats and dogs outside. Stuck in a bit of traffic, Sutton. But got home now. A bit of a late presser. A bit annoying, really. Stuck in the Friday traffic. But yeah, lots came from it, mate. There's loads, stacks to go through. And we look ahead to Leeds now.
Yeah, I think it's 16 days between when we played Southampton to Leeds, so it's been some time now. And I asked Pat in the week, it's almost like a bit of a baptism of fire. It's the second game of the Sunday. Everyone's on watching the Villa game.
Yes, mate. Yeah,
all eyes on Villa. So it's maybe a pressure game. I don't know. Obviously, only two wins. But yeah, what are your thoughts just initially about the Leeds game before we crack into it?
Yeah, you make a good point there. Sunday afternoon. All eyes on that one, as it often is with the Sunday games on Sky. Bit acid test, you've called it there right away. Leeds have been great at home this season. They beat Chelsea, beat Wolves, and they beat Barnsley in the Cup. So they're going well at home, Leeds, this season. They've had a good summer recruitment-wise. I'll be speaking to the lads up at Leeds Live. Sinisiestra, Aronson, and people like that. They've brought in. They spent £200 million in the summer. And Jesse Marsch is going well. I think he's won 7, drew 5, lost 5. Of his last round of games since being beat by Villa. So he's doing well up there. And like you say, Villa haven't got Cash or Dean at the fullbacks. It's a bit squeaky bum time. Villa needed results as well. Villa haven't won away from home this season. Leeds will be fired up as they always are at Ellen Road. And yeah, Villa going into the fire, as it were. And let's see what they got.
Yeah, let's jump into the presser then, Ash, because as you mentioned, it's a big game. You haven't seen Gerrard for a couple of weeks now, obviously due to the internationals. We had that little break for the Queen's funeral as well. Obviously, we played in between. What was the sort of mood like at Villa? It's sort of back to normal, is how I see it now. Yeah,
back to normal. Gerrard was cool, relaxed, as he always is. Very outspoken about Tyrone Mings and his performances of late being strong as well. Yeah. Gerrard watching England, so he feels Mings can push himself into the England squad for the World Cup. Yeah, lots came from it, mate. Yeah. So the team who's dominated, doesn't it, really? The injuries and how will come with that. I think we'll see Augustinson at left back. I asked for a flavour what to expect from him. He said fans will know soon enough. So big hint there. He perhaps coming in. So yeah, what else came from it? Yeah, hoping to see more Coutinho after his bit of magic in Southampton. I thought he was back to what looked like his best against Southampton last time. So need to see more from him. But yeah, very relaxed from Gerrard. You spoke at length. You did a piece, didn't you, John, about Douglas Luiz's contract as well? What's the latest with that?
Yeah, so obviously, for those who don't know, Ash is in the sort of the written section, which is obviously embargoed to later on. So there was a couple of broadcast questions about Douglas Luiz, his contract. Not necessarily an update, but an update in sorts that there's no progress on his contract extension yet. Reports in the week suggesting that Arsenal might come back in January. 15 million, I think, was the valuation that they're looking at. Obviously, that's some way from Villa's 40 million, but then again, that was a deadline day, and January there's a whole month to sort of seal that transfer. So that's potentially one that'll happen. 8 games left until the World Cup, so that'll go really quickly. 2 months is it now? So yeah, maybe the last couple of months we see Luiz in a Villa shirt, depending on whether Arsenal want to step up that or firm up their interest again. But no, not necessarily an update. But again, there's no progress, which is a bit of a shame. But I think we've had this conversation this time in 12 months. I think if we're seeing Luiz in a claret and blue shirt, it's that's hardly unlikely for me. But yeah, any other takeaways from the pressure, Ash? Is it mainly injury concerns? In fact, let's move on to any injury updates now. You mentioned Boubacar Kamara, obviously picking up his knee injury against Southampton. Luca Dean, bit of a sort of unknown injury, that one at the moment. I think they're sort of monitoring it, but they don't know exactly the extent. That's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, Luca Dean's the main one there for me. No return date on him. It's an awkward injury. It's the heel, not the ankle. Gerrard said it's the heel. Big issue with the heel, and there's the stress there, and the monitor it week by week. So I think he'll miss Leeds. Obviously, I think he'll miss Forest as well, and he might miss the the Brentford game. Is it the Chelsea game? So yeah, he's out for the next few, I'd say. Matty Cash back to partial training this week, so not amongst the full session. So he'll be back next week against his old club Forest. So a bit of a special one for him next week. So yeah, Villa are going to have to deal with their fullbacks this weekend. Ashley Young will step in, and as mentioned, I think Augustinson gets the nod. So yeah, just them two are the concerning ones. Cash and Luca Dean, so important to Villa, John, aren't they? They're pretty much ever present, aren't they? Their first names on the team sheet usually. So we'll have to cope without them. And I'm intrigued to see how they go without Kamara. Been a big part of Villa this season. Massive part of the summer recruitment plan. Booba was, and Gerard spoke of his. What did he say? He's still hurting, given the fact he's lost Diego, he's lost Kamara, two main signings of the summer. But he's going to have to roll with the punches, isn't he? He's going to have to deal with it and not mope around. So you'd say who for you comes in for Booba, John, Dendoncker or Douglas?
I would have thought Douglas. I'm not sure where Donker's at yet, and I'm not sure if he's going to be playing that role holding or if he's going to be competing with McGinn. It's a difficult one because halfway through the next 8 games, which is in about 3 weeks' time, because we have quite a congested period, you wonder if Dendonker's going to get those minutes to play with Ramsey playing well with McGinn, and obviously Louise looks to be that sort of, given to playing that holding midfield. So all of a sudden you're thinking, where's his game time coming from? Maybe it's an injury or, I don't know, a freshen up of the squad that will give him his chance, and he has to take it because that midfield seems a bit hard to break into at the moment. Obviously, say with McGinn, Ramsey, McGinn playing well for Scotland, it's difficult. I just want to quickly touch on away from match day, Ash. I know you've been doing some digging around the Villa Trust. With Purslow, what have you found out?
Yeah, very interesting, that one. That was held last night with the Trust members, their AGM. Had a Q&A with Christian Purslow. Lots come from it, really, mate. There's stacks. First of all, was the form. It's been a bit disappointing, as we all know. The Bournemouth result on the opening day and the performance there was a shock to Purslow himself. Yeah. He said the players came back from pre-season and the mood around the camp was amazing. Everyone thought we were going to have a really strong season. So the start they've had has been a bit surprising to Christian, Stephen as well, and the owners as well. So that was pretty interesting to hear from Purslow there. Spoke about the Villa Park developments as well, specifically the Holt end. We could see rail seating there, safe standing there at some point, probably phase 3 of the phases, as it were. So looking to increase attendance in the Holt end specifically. Later down the line, probably in line with the 2020-28 World Cup, is it? Or the Euro, sorry.
Yeah.
So that was interesting as well. And the recruitment plan and the transfer strategy, that's changed significantly now, John. With the new stadium and the increased capacity, that equals more revenue. And then that plays a big part in how Villa go about the transfer markets now. I think gone are the days of Villa bulk buying and beefing up the squads with squad players. I think it's going to be a 1 in, 1 out kind of thing with quality, and that one coming in will come straight into the 11 as well. So Villa have got to be self-funded from now on. I see the point, really. The owners have chucked loads of money at it, nearly 400 million on transfers, and now it's about fine-tuning it, as was the case in the summer. You're looking at Kamara, Diego Carlos, interesting from that. Villa flew out to Sevilla back in start of mid-May to get the Diego Carlos deal done. Shook hands on a deal there, and the court, the rival clubs in for Diego. Cold, really. Champions League clubs were in for him. Villa made the move first and got the deal done there. And to have him taken away from you in the second fixture, cruel game.
Yeah.
But it just shows that Villa mean business in the summer. Got the business done early, and I hoped those two signings specifically would kick Villa on, and that's been taken away from them now. So that's gutting. What else came from it? Yeah, they tried to do everything they could, to keep Carney at the club. Carney Chukwuemeka, he wanted out, and Purslow said okay, but they tried everything to keep him at the club, given his promise and prospect, his big prospect. And yeah, that's it really. Loads to take away from it. We're close to a new badge now as well. I think we won't see the AV in the ADFC. I think we'll see an Aston Villa. I think maybe round. I think season ticket holders and members will get to vote on the new badge. There might be 3 or 4 released in the coming weeks, and you'll get the vote on that one. It'll fall nicely in line, I suspect, for the 150th anniversary of the club as well in 2024.
Yep.
So dawn of a new era, isn't it, John? You've got a new stadium, new badge, and hopefully some European football maybe later down the line. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Getting caught up in the hype in pre-season, but yeah, loads come from it. Yeah, very good from Perslow for me. Lots of clarity. He does this quite often as well. Not many chief executives do it, to be honest, especially in the Premier League. So the fact Cushling comes out, does it himself, and is there to be got at and answers questions and gives as much clarity as possible, he's fantastic. So, but yeah, lots to come from that one. Pieces are on the website anyway if you want to take a look at that one. And yeah, very good. And nice for the fans to come to us with the bits from it as well.
Yeah, and credit to, as you mentioned there, credit to the fans getting in touch and Perslow for for sharing bits that we wouldn't otherwise know about. A quick prediction for Leeds on Sunday then, Ash. I think it'll be a very tight game. I don't think it'll be too many goals in it. I think Leeds have got a couple of players back. Rodrigo from injury. I think it's only one player that's missing that wasn't already out in the previous games. Adam Forshaw, I think it was. So nothing that will dramatically alter their approach to the game. I think I'm going to back us. I think we'll win 2-1. I think it's about time that we sort of broke that away to hoodoo. What are you thinking?
I'm worried, I'm worried. I'm never worried as well. I'm the optimist. I've got the Clout and Blue specs on usually. I'm worried. The fullback situation worries me.
True.
I've probably been speaking to my mates up at Leeds too much. Sinistera, the Colombian. He scored 3 international duty. I think he's got 3 for the season. He's on fire. The winger, the big money winger they've signed. And Villa, the fullback situation does concern me. But yeah, going off the back of the last two results, John, drawing with Man City, digging in to beat Southampton. Okay, it wasn't pretty, but it shows they can go and do it and get a result when the backs are against the wall. So hopefully they dig it out. I've gone for a 2-2 on my Super 6 predictor. Yeah, but I'm not going up there with confidence. Maybe the international break has curbed that momentum we had off the back of the Southampton one. It just feels a bit losing Luka Dean, losing Kamara long term. And it'd be interesting to see how we cope without them, Yeah. So I'm not optimistic. I usually am, and I can't believe I'm saying that. So cue a 3-0 away win then. Coutinho's running right again.
Yeah, it does almost feel like when we try and take a step forward, because it's only a win against Southampton and draw against City will be a good result. We are taking those steps backwards. Obviously, the Carlos injury and Kamara, and it all seems to be racking up on us. And we're saying 8 games time, we're almost halfway through the season, so it all comes very quickly. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, Ash, for our mini Leeds episode. You've got a lot of work to get on with, so I'll let you crack on. Thanks to everyone who has participated in the comments and watched our video. Hopefully 3 points on the way this weekend. Thanks for watching, and up the Villa.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.